Hey everybody, it's Tammy Critch here, and I am bringing you a free tutorial on how to create graphics for anything that you may need to do a graphic for. For example, social media, blog posts, um, pictures for your YouTube channel, basically anything that you want to use graphics for. I'm going to teach you a free tool, which is up on my screen right now, that you can use. And we're going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to hopefully talk slow enough that you can take notes, but certainly you'll get the recording so you'll be able to pause it or go back and rewatch it and all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. One of the best uh, tool for using online for social media graphics and ebooks and like I said, anything that you can think of is canva.com. Now I'm sure there's other ones. This one I find to be really good because it has pretty much everything that you could possibly think of to use in there, and it's free, and it's very user friendly. So that's some of the reasons that I really enjoy using it. And the web address is www.canva.com. So CANVA.com. So when you get to this screen, all you're really going to do is sign in. So you can do one of two things. You can create a username. You can use your email address up here and your password and create a new account. Or you can simply come here and sign in with Facebook. That's what I usually do because it just saves me from remembering one more password. So you can do, it's your choice, whatever your preference is. So I just use sign up with Facebook and it just signs me in automatically. And then of course everything, a lot of the other projects that I was working on before will all be saved into my account. So, if you, once you get started, obviously you're going to have an idea of what it is that you're working on, what type of project you're working on. So once you come in, you're going to have a whole bunch of things in front of you. These are some of the projects that I've worked on over the last little while. But you have a couple of choices. Again, you can choose from some of the most popular topics, which are all listed up here. If you hit, you can do one of two things. You can either hit this more button over here to get more already formatted designs, or you can just hit this little green button over here on the left, says create design. So they both take you to the same place. You just choose which one and you'll get a whole bunch of choices that you can use. So for example, at the top is recommended for you because these are probably the most common ones that people create graphics for. So we have recommended for Facebook post, Facebook cover, social media poster, Instagram, social graphic, presentation. And then you can just cursor down and most likely you're going to find a template already prepared for what it is that you're working on. So here you can see the common social media posts. So this is the size, the correct size for a Twitter post, for example. If you just cursor over it, you can see the size. Social graphic, Pinterest graphic, and then again, you just kind of scroll through and find the one that's most appropriate. You can do documents in US letter size, presentation A4, and so on. A resume, excuse me, and a yearbook. Then down here you have blogging and ebooks. So you have book cover, desktop wallpaper, and so on. Photo collage, which is also very common, CD cover, and blog banner. So again, just keep going down, and then you can create an infographic if you like, because those are really popular on for blog posts. Then you can go down further, marketing material, poster menu. I won't read them all to you. Social media and email headers. So here you'll find some of the ones that were not included in the top. So for example, Facebook header, or sorry, Facebook event cover. This one's a little tricky because it's kind of got an odd size. It's very long and narrow. So it's great that these are already pre-formatted. Then over here you have so a YouTube thumbnail, so that would be something that you would use on to preface your video with, so you can put a custom thumbnail in there so you can create your own. So you can do that there. YouTube channel art, Google Plus header, and so on. Facebook cover, so important to remember that a Facebook event cover and a Facebook cover photo or image are not the same. So they're different sizes, so beware of that. And then down here you have events, postcards, announcements, and then down here if you're looking to create a Facebook ad or a leaderboard ad, anything like that, you'll have those special sizes. Now if you have something special, a size that you have in mind that is not here, that's a little more specific, then all you have to do, if you know the custom sizes, is just hit this custom dimension, and then you can put in, let's say you wanted to make a square 800 by 800, and then hit design, and it's going to give you your blank canvas to start working on. So you can, as I said, create or choose from all of the choices that you have here, or create your own. Okay, so let's start here with Facebook post. This is probably the most common, and that's why it's pinned to the top. I use it a lot for graphics, so I'm sure that the majority of you will probably be using Facebook posts. So let's say you want to create a Facebook post. All you're going to do is just click on it to choose it. It's going to open up in a new tab. And then over to the left, you have all of these pre-made templates that you can choose from. They're already designed for you. They have an amazing fonts and colors and backgrounds, images. So you can choose, you can keep looking, you can search all day in here, to be honest, to find something that is suitable for what you're working on. And sometimes you can get a little lost in there finding the perfect one. But just know that you can edit any of them. Okay, so if you find one that you like, and most obviously you're going to have to edit most of it because the information you want to be more specific to you. But a lot of them in there are free. And the ones that are paid, I'm going to actually show you a little trick that you can turn in if you really like the way everything's laid out, and maybe perhaps you don't, there's a charge in there for an image. I'm going to show you how to replace that, so you can get those for free as well. So here, if I hover over, let's say this coffee one, for example, you can see there's a little $sign here. That means that there's a charge for that that Facebook post or that layout. Okay, and then if you kind of come down a little further, you'll see the ones that are free have free written on them. Surprise, surprise. So you can, again, kind of arrow down and find all of the Facebook posts that are there that are free, and select one that you like and then edit it. Or as I said, you can select the paid ones, and I'll go into that a little bit later, and we'll talk about how you can edit those so you can use them for free. So let's just find one that we can edit. So let's see, I'm not going to spend too much time selecting one, but let's say you want to do a family reunion. So all you do is click on it, and it pulls the template right over to the blank canvas that was there. So you can hit undo, and I'll show, up here there's an undo button, so I'll hit that, and you can see it's blank when you go in. And then if you just hit the one that's selected, it's going to pop in and pre-fill it in that blank canvas. And then from here, you can edit pretty much anything that's on the page. So I'm going to click on it, and when I clicked on it, you can see that up here the filter popped up. Over here is the color, the background color. So if you want to change the background color, you're just going to click in there. This is going to give you some of the recommended choices But if you want other ones and you know a specific hex color, for example, that you want to put in there, you could just hit this plus button and you can get a whole range of different colors. So as soon as I start clicking, you can see the background images start to change. If you know the specific color that you want to put in there, the color code, the hex color code, you can just type it in and it will adjust accordingly. So I oftentimes will, that's how I coordinate my logo colors, because I know the color that's actually in my logo, so I just type in the hex color. So your choice, but there's tons of colors that you can pick from. So that's how you change the background image. And then anything here that you can see that I'm clicking on means it's editable. So I can turn it like that. All I'm doing is laying my cursor on it and moving it around. And then if I click in here, I can actually delete this image if I like. So just hitting the delete button. I'm going to undo that. If I wanted to change the image, I'm going to show you how to change images in a little bit. So I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. And then over here, again down here, you're just going to click on top, and you'll see that whatever is in this block is all attached to the one block. So if I wanted to just move that, I can just drag and drop it. Okay, so just click, hold, drag, and drop. So I'm just going to move that back. Oops, hit my save button. So I'm going to undo that. So if I wanted to change this to next year, April 15th, all I'm going to do is type. Once I click on it, I'm already inside. So I can just change the date. I can change the location. Let's say New York. New York. If you just double click on a word, it highlights it automatically, so you don't have to drag your cursor over it. And then Jefferson Family Reunion, I'll just say Critch, because that's my last name. And of course you can change it if you had, you know, a wedding or a rehearsal party or anything. You can, if you just really like this template and you want to change this to a different title, you can change anything you like. So just type it in. If you want to change the fonts, again, that's giving me an autocorrect because my last name is kind of odd. So if I wanted to change the color of the font that's in there, all I'm going to do is click on it. It changes the entire row. And then I just click up into my little pick a color, and it will change the color that's in there. And then, of course, if you wanted a special message, you can just put it in there. So it's pretty simple to edit any sort of graphic that you want. And then you're just going to go over here, File, and then Save. So once you're happy with your final changes, then obviously you want to save them. Now, there's other things that you can do here. If I want to change the spacing, I can do this. This is pretty standard to like Word. If I wanted to change the size of the font, I just go here and I can increase the size. Let's say that this, I just increased it too big, but I want the date to be that large. Then what I can do is, see how it's falling over my name? I can just click on it, and there's a little, I don't know, a little lip or something there, whatever you would call it. You can just pull on that, stretch it, and then it will expand. So you just drag it and then you move it. Okay, so again, if you want to change it, you'll see if you want to pull to make this all fit in one size, you just pull on that little blue dot there, put your cursor over it and pull, or click and pull. And then if you want to move it, then you just click away from it, click on it again, and then just drag it. Okay, so fairly simple, I hope, so far. If I want to change the filter, then I can just click. Actually, this is not a good one. I'll show you that in an image that would be more effective there. But if I wanted to change the transparency to my background color, I'm just going to hit on this gradient button up here in the right hand corner and just pull it down to whatever. Obviously when you get down to it's just going to be white. So if you just wanted to fade it out because the color is just a little too bright for you, but you like the actual base color, then you can just drag that around and change it to however transparent you want the background to be. And you can do that in any of these. So if I wanted to change the background here, you can see I could just drag that one. And if I want to add a link, you can add a link here, but when you add a link, you'll have to download it in a PDF because that's the only way the links are going to work. Okay, so if I wanted to say, you know, this was a website or something down here, I can put a link to, I can highlight this and put a link up here, whatever it might be, laptopexecutive.com, and then apply, but when I download it, it's going to recommend a PDF file instead of a PNG file or a JPEG, which are both image files. Okay? And that's it. So if I wanted to now download this, I'm happy with it. I don't want to make any final changes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up here. This is where the actual file name is. So if it will pre-fill with whatever the main character is on this graphic. If you just click in here, you can change the name to Family Reunion, for example. And when it downloads, that's what the file name is going to be. So just click in there, hit done. And then you want to download because you want to use it in your graphics or wherever it is you might be. So you have some choices when to download or which way to download your file. So you can do a JPEG, which is an image. You can do a PNG file, and if you click this transparent background, which is sometimes available, sometimes isn't, mostly with images you'll get an opportunity to download a transparent background. Then you can use that, or otherwise you have PDF if you just want a standard PDF that you're going to email out to people, or a PDF that you want to print off. So obviously that'll be a little more higher quality. So you're going to select the file that you want. I almost always stick with PNG, and then just hit download. And now you'll get this nice little positivity quote: "The best way to predict your future is to create it," by Abraham Lincoln. And it's preparing everything, preparing the file, and then it'll go into my downloads folder or wherever it is you have set up on your computer where your automatic downloads go. So you'll find the file in there under the name that you just saved it. So you can post it, tweet it, or email it out from here. I don't usually do that, but you have that option. Okay. So that is Facebook posts. Let's find a nice one with an image. Let's see. And again, this is all going to be the same regardless if it's a Facebook post or social Twitter image or a brochure or anything like that. Whatever it is, they all work. It all works the same way. So let's pick one that has a paid image on it. I'm looking for something nice. Okay, let's see. Here we go. So if I now click on this, it's going to ask me if I want to replace the image that I already have. So you'll get a little warning. You don't want to lose any unsaved changes that you might have. So I'm just going to replace that one. Now, as you'll see, this is watermarked. So you can see Canva in the back, and it has these like little window panes on there. So usually that means there's a graphic or an image that you're paying for in here. So you know, you can certainly sign up for an account, but there is definitely, you know, alternatives to get free images. So if you click over here on the graphic, there's a little eye here, and that just tells you there's a little more information on the file. So if you scroll down a little bit, it says purchase. It usually tells you, let's click back here. Usually tells you what you're paying for. Yes, here we go. Okay, so let's say you're creating a nice image for Father's Day, and you know you really like the way that this is set up. You don't need to make any changes or just very minimal changes, but it's a paid graphic. So over here you can see that what you're paying for is the image. So from here, all you need to do is replace the image that's on this so that you have a free option. So over on the left-hand side, there's a couple of other menus which we're going to get to. If you go to Elements and Free Photos, you can replace that photo in that graphic. So there's, you know, it's not as unlimited as the options are in the layouts up here, but there are quite a few really nice images in here that you can choose from. And if you can't find one there, then I'll show you somewhere else that you can get some images. So let's say you want, let's just, for the argument's sake, let's use these boots ones, this boots image. You'll see a couple of things. If I just click on this, it's not going to replace the image the way that it just did a couple of seconds ago when I showed you changing the Facebook post. It gave you a warning to replace it. It's not going to happen. You're going to see it's going to just pop in the middle of this template. So I'm just going to press on it and show you what I'm talking about. So just click and see how it's just sitting on top of the graphic. It's not really merged into the graphic. So that is obviously it's not going to work. So I'm just going to undo that. All you really need to do simply is drag and drop it. So you have to hold it and drag it over, and then it's going to replace the image, the other image. And now you can see that the X's and the Canva watermark have disappeared because you're not using a paid graphic. Okay, so obviously this one is not going to work that well because now you can't see this font, but I can certainly drag this over here if I like, or I can edit that in any way that I want. This is kind of a pre-made template, which I'll show you when we get to texts, but I can edit that, or again, just find a better image that might work better. Let's see, if I drag this one over, that's a woman, I think, so, but you get the idea. You can just find a lot of really free images over here under Elements, okay, and then just replace the image. If you find a layout, like I said, that you really like and you're paying for that image, you just go over there to Elements and find a free photo and replace it. Okay, so there are also other elements over here that you can go through. Grids, if you really want to create something special that is not, you know, you want some a collage that you can't find the right fit for in the pre-designed layouts. And by the way, they're all under here in layout. Then you can go back here to grids and just click on it again, and then it increases and decreases. Frames. It's toying with me right now. Why is that up there? That should not be there. Okay, I'm having a little funkiness happening here because these fonts should not be here. But anyway, you can go through the 3 selections that are there. For some reason, I'm having some weirdness happen, but this would be my fonts are overlaying on my layouts. Okay, so there's obviously a little glitch there that does not normally happen. So normally you would just have free photos, grids, frames, and then these colored selections that are here. I don't know why the text, which is in the next column, is overlapping in the elements, but hopefully you won't have that problem. Okay, so let's go back up to layouts. And if I want to go back, do I want to leave the site? Yes, I want to go back to my main menu. Okay, so here I want to create a design. And let's say I want to do let's do a social media graphic. They're pretty much the same as Facebook posts, but they're just a little bit different sizes. So again, you're going to get a whole bunch of selections over here. And see, this one's free. You could easily just go in, edit the text on this, download it, upload it to your page, Happy Valentine's Day, or Happy Anniversary, or whatever it is that you may want to put in there. There's tons and tons and tons of choices. So let's select another one with an image. Here's a great one. There's always something to be thankful for. May your Thanksgiving be filled with love, happiness, and full tummies. So this is really great. People love pictures of food and coffee and images and turkeys and whatever it is that you have coming up. So again, we're just going to go over to Elements, and we're going to go Free Photos, and we're going to find, let's see if we can find something with food on it, and drag and drop, and then replace that. Now, if you can't see your font, you're going to want to change the color in here. So again, you're just going to go up to the top and maybe select black and see how that goes. That's actually still really hard to see, so maybe you want to drag it up here. You can put it as full size, and then if you want to change it to center that text, you can just go up here to, like I said, it's just very similar to Word, any sort of editing software like that, and then you can just drag it over, and you can take this one down here and drag it down. And again, if you wanted to change the font, you can just click on it, go up to your color, pick a color, and change the color of the font for that one. So that's as simple as it gets with images or changing or finding free images. But you can also, if you have a specific picture that you'd like to include, let's say you have something from a memory that you want, or something specific from your business that you want to create something around, then you can also do that. So let's go back to layouts and find one that I can replace the image on. So I'm just going to replace the one I was working on. So let's say that we have a save the date. You have a big open house coming up or something like that, and you went in and, okay, this looks like a wedding. Let's say you have a wedding that you want to post on social media to save the date. Then again, you just go, you select the one that you find that you like. There's usually a whole bunch of choices, and you just change the names. Tammy and Declan. Don't tell him I just did that, because he'll be freaking out. And then a date, and then let's say I wanted to put a picture of Declan and I in here, then I can just upload my own image. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to Uploads, and I can just hit Upload my own image, and then if I had a whole list of pictures that I wanted to choose from, then I can just upload wherever they're saved. Let's see if I have one. I don't think I have one, but let's say I can use my I don't have any photos saved here, unfortunately. Let's see. let's say I want to put that in there. So I can just upload my own image. So you can see that it's loading, and then over here, until that is filled up, then it's still loading. You can't use the image until that's done. And then all I'm going to do is drag that over. Okay, and then I have my own image. I can put in my own message, I can change it however I like, and you can see the watermark is gone. And then once again, change the name, save the date, done. And then if I want to download, I can just do the PNG or whatever file that I want and download it to my computer and then use it as I see fit. So that is how you upload your own photo. Now, let's say you were over to Elements and you couldn't find any free images that were really appropriate for what you were looking at. You know, you went, oh, maybe that's not the one. And you went through a whole bunch and you couldn't find anything suitable for what you're looking for. Then there is a site called Pexels.com that you can find a lot of free images. So that's Pexels.com. So if you go over here, they have some amazing photos to pick from. Pexels.com, and you just search for whatever it is that you're looking for. So let's say I'm looking for photography. You just type that in, and it's going to give me a whole bunch of images to choose from. So I just find one that I might like. Let's choose this one. And then over here you can see there's a free download. So you just hit the little drop down arrow and you can download it in any size that you would like to have it in. So obviously the larger the size, the better the quality of the image. But sometimes you want to have them a little smaller so that they're not taking up so much space or memory. So let's just download the large. I just hit large and download. And you can see that just went right here down to my download folder. Okay, and you have an option to donate. I do that occasionally because I do use them a lot. So we are going to upload this into Canva. Upload your own image. I'm going to go to my download folder, and there's my image. You can see it's marked Pexels. I can certainly rename that if I like. And upload my photo. And just wait until that's done. It's a little slow. All right, and now you can see it's here in my file, and you can see I just accidentally clicked on it, so it didn't pre-fill in the right place I want it to go. So I'm just going to undo that and drag it in there, and it's going to adjust the size. Now, I'm not sure if you just noticed what just happened. I'm going to do that again. Undo. See, you can see the image over here. It's like it's a faded beigey color. When I pull this over, whoops. If I pull this over, you can see how it went black and white? There's some sort of filter on this graphic. So what you can do is go up to voila, filter, and choose to have it normal. So if I just click normal, it's going to come in to my image that I'm creating, or my graphic that I'm creating, to the normal picture, the color of the picture that I downloaded. So I can edit that any way I like. I can change any sort of filter. So if you want to, you want a black and white one, great. If you want a different type of filter, a festive one, you can see all the nice colors popping out there. You can add or remove filters till you get to a point where you really love the image that's there. Excuse me. And then you can drag and drop, or drag this little button here to adjust the brightness or the contrast. So you can, obviously, you don't want it to, it comes in as usually a pretty nice spot, but if there's something you want to change, you do have the choice. And then up here, you can do transparency, excuse me, again. So, you know, you don't obviously want your image to be completely transparent, but I'm just going to leave it at 100%. So you can edit, play around with it, and just kind of really create something you really, really love. Do, you know, a zillion different things. And I'm not going to go through every single step, but you can see through the layouts that you have so many different options of and ideas that you can create with. If I just hit copy, it just made a copy of my image. So if I wanted to have, if I had a collage in here, then I could add the second image. So I'm just going to remove that. And if I just wanted to delete something, I just click over it. Right now I'm inside it because you can see my cursor. That means I'm just going to change the date. But if I click on the lines that surround it and just hit my delete button, then it simply just disappears. Okay? So if I now, let's just go over to the side here and I'll go through the menu that's to the left. So the layouts, that's where we come in, and the options that we have to select whatever it is that we're going to create. Elements, that's weirdness just went away, but here's the elements you have. So you have free photos, grids, frames, shapes, lines. Most of the stuff is free, so if there's something specific that you're looking for, you might very well find it in here. An icon. Icons can be really great. If you're looking for a specific one, then you can just hit up here on the search button. I really dislike the search button because when you're searching, let's just say you're searching for light bulb, it's going to give you everything from an icon. Some things are going to be free, some things are going to be paid, and I just find that it all jumbles together. But you can certainly, the options there, if there's something that you want to create on your own, then you can, the search button is there, and it may help you narrow down. There's like 1 million images in there, so over 1 million. So it can help you, but I just tend to choose from what's there because it just makes my life easier. So let's talk about text. Now here are a bunch of different options. They're pretty much all free. If I just click on one, it's going to, generally comes into the center. I can drag it up to the top and edit it however I like. These ones that are pre-formatted, they get a little more difficult to edit, but you can edit them. But if you just want one single line, you have a choice between a heading. So if you just click on it, it falls over on your image, and you're going to drag it to the top. So I can change that to Tammy's Pick. Or if that is too big, again, I can change the image size up here, change the color to whatever I want the color to be, and if it's too small, you know, I can play around with the fonts as any way that I like. If I don't like a heading size, I'm just going to delete that. You can hit a subheading and then drag it to the top. Again, exact same thing. Or if you want just a small little subtitle, then you can just click on that and drag it to wherever you need, and then edit to whatever you want the words to say. But again, if I wanted to make this smaller, I can, but I got to do it in 2 separate sections. So I have to do one as the image and one as the background that's behind it. I'm going to pull it over to so it's centered, and then let's say I want to use one of these preset images, or sorry, fonts, texts, text boxes. Then I can just click on it, drag it up to where I want it to be, maybe make it a little smaller. I can just use it around with my cursor, because if I really love the way the font is, all I have to do then is just edit what it says. So if I don't want this to say Parmesan cheese and I want it to say spaghetti and meatballs, whoops, can't spell, then I can just, do you have an H? I can't remember. I think some people spell it with an H, some people don't. But I can just put in that because I really love the font that's selected and just edit it to what I like. Okay, so obviously this is not going to go there unless Declan and I are serving spaghetti and meatballs for dinner, which is quite possible. So that would be how you can use text. Now let's say I want to change this background. Again, I have the option to choose from all of these different colors or click in here, but sometimes you're just clicking around and you just can't find the right background that you like. Then you can go down here to backgrounds, and the first, I don't know, 50 or so are all free. May not even be 50, but you'll start to see that down here kicks in that you have to pay $1 for those ones. So you can certainly choose them, but you can see that they're watermarked. Okay, so once you want to download it, it's going to ask you to pay. So obviously I don't want that. Certainly you may, but I can pick from this nice gradient background, or again, I can come up here and pick from my default palette or hit the plus button and just change the way that looks. I can just adjust my bar here, and so that's backgrounds. So that is all of that. Let's see if I talked about elements, I talked about changing images. And I think the last thing, I'm going to leave this and go back. The other option that you have is when you're back at this main menu, you can hit Find Templates. And you can narrow things down that way. Again, they get a little jumbled up. They're going to be the same things that you selected in the layout section or the main menu when you come in, but you may find it a little easier to go, oh yeah, okay, this is listed alphabetically, so if I'm looking for photo collages, then I can just click here, and if there's something specific, these are all categorized, then I can just pick hair design, and let's say I want to use this one. So now I'm going to click on it, and you're going to see that these two images are paid images. So again, I love everything about this, except I don't like this paying for this picture. So I'm going to go back over to Elements. I'm going to go to Free Pictures, or I'm going to go to Pexels and download a Pexel picture, and then just upload it into Canva and pull it in. But let's say, now this obviously doesn't make sense because it's about hairstyling, but let's say I dropped my coffee one in there and my raspberries. Then I can say, let's say, get nourished. How's that? Now that's obviously too long, so I'm going to have to adjust my font size. So that's 130. There, I just changed it to 104. Still a little big. And then as you're playing around with it, you can start to see that things just don't really look as good as they did when you first started, so you want to do some edits. So you can see this all moves together. So you're going to have to want to play with each section and change what you see fit. So I think that is all of the topics and the things that you need to know. Obviously, like I said, you can go in here and play around. You could spend hours and days in here finding beautiful things to just kind of make work to your whatever your needs might be. I've never been lost for things to use inside of Canva because there are so many options, and there's so many things that you can change around and play with, and find for free. And again, if you can't find the exact image that you like, you just go to pexels.com, find an image over there that you like, download it, or upload one of your own images, and create some wonderful, beautiful social media graphics, blog graphics, anything your heart desires, and then upload it and use it wherever you see fit or wherever you need it. So I hope that you found this useful. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to drop me a note. I'm happy to answer them. I kind of did this off the cuff, so I hope I kept the flow going, but if there's anything that you don't understand or you need clarification on, please don't hesitate to let me know. And again, I hope you appreciate, and I look forward to seeing some amazing work. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.